Oh, no, darling. It's all me. It's all me.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, gosh, loud and clear.
Okay, we're on.
You're fine. Let me tell you, Kim, what has actually happened, okay? So all the excitement, and because you went on before I started, I got sort of confused and forgot to press the on-air button. So we are at the studios of RPPFM on 98.7, 98.3. I didn't press on air because I was too preoccupied. And the pre-host came in and said, Rula, we can hear music, but it's not your music, which was the backup music in case something goes wrong. And I said, that's really strange because I got everything happening. And that's when I realized I didn't press on air. Now, although all of you can actually hear me where we are now on the social platform, so that's okay. And the reason why I couldn't hear you is because I forgot to plug something in. Seriously. What is it today? Like, what is it today? Like, everything's been running smoothly for the last X amount of weeks. We only had issues at the first 6 weeks.
Oh, that's hilarious.
It's hilarious. It is hilarious. And I do apologize thinking it was from your end. No, it's definitely wasn't from your end. And I've got Alex, one of our listeners, and he's actually, let me see if I put the chat there. No, okay, no, we'll do it this way. You should be able to see the chat. He's a technician. So if I really get into trouble, we'll be fine. And Mary, thank you so much for pointing out that you could hear Kim. Now, Mary Calambaras is the renowned famous chef, George Calambaras' mum. And yes, well, he is her son because she's got her right to be standing with her head up high. She's a fantastic lady, and I really love this woman because when I first met her at a festival, she embraced me and we just hit it off, became good friends, and she just opened all these doors for me. So thank you, Mary, and thank you for letting me know that you could actually hear Kim. Now, we'll start again now, Kim. So, Kim, who is a keynote speaker, a business mentor, and has the podcast Courageous Me. How are you? Welcome to our RPPFM, the KK Factor.
I'm so excited, and I'm so excited that we can actually hear each other now. But I was saying, which you probably didn't hear, that I was loving the Greek music because it almost made me feel like I was in the Greek islands, which is way more exciting than just sitting here in my office in Melbourne, Australia.
Oh, wow. I'll take that as a compliment.
Yes.
That's fantastic, Kim. So you've obviously been to the Greek islands?
Oh, I have. I was 23 at the time, Rula, so quite a while ago. But was meant to be 1 week and I stayed for 6.
Wow, how good is that? I just want to make sure I don't lose this sound. Okay, we got that. So obviously the Greek music will bring back some memories for you. What memories did you recall listening to our little boppy music?
Oh my gosh, if you want to be honest, it was beaches by day, boys and booze by night. I was 23. I'm now 53. So it was 30 years ago.
You're still beautiful. Kim, let's just talk a little bit about the Courageous Me podcast. When, how, what it's about, and how can people listen in?
So 2 years ago, I'd wanted to do a podcast forever. I went out to buy a mug to give as gifts to some clients of mine. And there are all these cute mugs like courageous, wild, strong, and fierce. And I said to the woman, which do you like best? She said, oh my goodness, courageous. And I said, why? She said, don't we all need a bit more courage in our lives? Yeah. And then I dug deeper and found out. And that night I came home and I decided I want to make a podcast that is all about hearing particularly women, but not limited to women, their story of where courage has shown up in their lives. And that was birthed about 2 years ago. Wow. And all I do now is bring on guests to allow them to share their lives, but particularly where courage has played out in their life. And Rula, it is so much fun and incredibly insightful. So
that is all about courage. Good. We need those sort of podcasts. Everybody needs it, whether we're females or males. We all need it. We need to hear the other stories so that we can become courageous and be motivated by positivity, which is what you are all about.
Well, that's what happens because you hear someone else's story and you think, oh my goodness, if they could do that, maybe I could too. So it certainly is contagious, that's for sure.
Now, you are definitely contagious. especially when we meet each other at an event
Yeah.
and you just glow, your
Oh,
presence, your smile, that's just who you are. Like
so
it's
kind.
amazing, very positive. Um, Now, talking about being courageous, and the reason why I really needed my listeners to hear this, okay, and why I got you on the show, you visited the USA
I sure
and
did.
things didn't go to plan at the airport when you had all your luggage on a plane flying back to Australia, but you couldn't board because your ticket was not valid. Now, I kept asking myself, how can a ticket not be valid? Like we get the ticket, it's there in front of me, it tells you this is the date, this is the time, this is your flight, this is the airplane you're going to be on, this is your seat. How can the ticket not be valid?
And what's even more interesting, though, Ruler, is that they even checked my luggage on.
That was the next thing I was going to say. Like, how did your
Oh,
luggage get on? Because normally they show you, they look
yeah,
at your passport, then they
yes,
go on their little tick, 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 tick screen,
yeah.
and there she is, and yep, and there's your tickets. I don't get it. And it's the USA. Like, I'm surprised that Trump didn't get involved. Like, I love Trump. Like, this is one thing, like, how did he not know about it?
Oh, totally. And by the way, it is the evening of the 3rd of July.
Oh,
So the
huge
airport
celebration.
is nuts, right? Because the 4th of July
4th of July,
holiday.
yeah.
Yeah. But this is what happened. I had a flight from Miami to LA back to Melbourne, right? Which is the end of my trip. I was in New York, so I booked a flight to get to Miami. While I was in air, there was all these storms. So the pilot comes on and says, we can't land in Miami. We're going to detour to a different airport. We'll refuel and then we'll get you to Miami when
Yeah.
the storm clears. Anyway, I get there. So I've missed now all my flights that are going to get me back to Australia. So I go to American Airlines and say, right, I need a new flight. The woman books me a new flight to get from Miami to LA, takes my luggage, and then of course I'm all sweet now. I'm gonna get to LA. So then I ring my travel agent to say, right, I've sorted the this part of it. Now can
Yeah.
you just rebook my flight to Australia? Yep, no problem. As far as I'm concerned, it's all sweet. I've got a valid ticket. They've taken my luggage.
Hang on,
I
who
go
gave you the valid ticket? Who gave you the ticket?
American Airlines. The woman at the service counter handed it to me.
This is because of
Yes,
the issue with the weather and everything else?
yes, yes. So I've
So
missed
she
my
gives
flight I was originally on. Yeah. So then they get me a new ticket. So then when I go to board, and you know what it's like, and it's busy, like I said, it's nuts. It's the 3rd of July. And I get to the counter, and when they scan your ticket to go on, and she scans it 3 times. And she's like, there's a problem with your ticket, ma'am. Could you please go to the side to the service counter? And I'm thinking, what do you mean? There's a guy there and he's frazzled because it's nuts at the airport. And he's on his computer system and he said, your ticket's invalid. And I'm like, what do you mean my ticket's invalid? It's not invalid. He starts yelling at me, Ruler. I'm kidding. I'm not kidding. Yelling at me like, why are you trying to board our airline with an invalid ticket?
But they're the ones that gave you the ticket in the first place.
Spot on. So he said to me, where did you get this ticket? I said, from downstairs at the American Airlines counter. Her name's Kelly, like it was on the ticket.
Yeah.
And he said, okay, well, how else did you get the ticket? I said, I went downstairs. She gave me the ticket. She handed me the ticket. She'd taken my bags. My bags are on that plane and I'm pointing to the plane. And he said, well, it's invalid. Then he starts saying to me, what did you do after you got the ticket? And I'm thinking,
Well, what do you think I did, mate?
what do you think I
Pole
did?
dance?
Yeah, exactly. So he said, what did you do? And I said, well, I rang my travel agent to then change my flight because there was a few other flights and I had to get back to Australia. And he yelled at me, Ruler, and said, why did you do that? And I'm thinking, what do you mean why? Because right now I'm in Miami. I've still got to get to LA to get back to Australia.
Now, meanwhile,
Yes.
the plane is the plane leaving now?
The plane
With
is
your
going in
luggage.
about 5 minutes. And I'm standing there saying, but you've even taken my luggage. And he's saying, get your travel agent on the phone. I'm thinking, why would I get my travel agent on the phone?
What's the travel agent got to do with this?
Exactly. And I'm handing him, here's my confirmation of my luggage receipt and everything. We don't get this resolved. I can see the plane backing away from the gate. Ruler, I'm a 53-year-old mature grown adult. Do you know what I do? I burst into tears.
I would have burst into tears. I would have had an anxiety attack.
I
Like, your
yeah,
luggage is now
yes,
leaving.
yes,
It's going somewhere, and you're still in the airport.
exactly. So I keep saying, but you've got my luggage. And I'm bawling my eyes out,
Oh my God.
very, very mature. And he just kept yelling at me saying, forget about your luggage. Forget. And I'm like, but you don't know how long it took me to find the gifts for my kids that are in that bag. And at this stage, Rula, had everything gone to plan, I was going to be back in Australia in time for my husband's birthday, which I've missed for the last 3 years.
Oh,
And now I'm aware that,
what a
one,
blooper.
I'm not going to be back in time. But at this rate, I'm not even getting on a flight. And the more I'm crying, and I was heaving, like I'm talking that crying where,
You're
you know, like
sobbing. You're in
babies
agony.
do.
You're in shock. It's
Totally.
shock. You're in shock.
And all I could say to this man, this beautiful man who was yelling at me, by the way, is please don't leave me. Please
There's
don't
the
leave me.
courageous mentor, this beautiful man, even though he's yelling at me. Yeah.
Yeah. And I said, you can't leave me. Anyway, he ends up staying with me for an hour and a half. He's on the phone to my travel agent. He's on the phone to Qantas. He's on the phone to One World. He got me another ticket. But, actually, I had to buy another ticket, another 700 Aussie dollars later.
So you had to now buy a ticket, even though
Yes.
they gave you a ticket that's invalid.
Spot on. But while I was on the phone to the travel agent, what had happened, this is how we worked out what had happened. After I'd got this flight, booked my luggage in, and then I called them to change the leg from LA to Melbourne, they had inadvertently cancelled that American Airlines flight. That's how I end up with
Hang
an
on.
invalid
But
ticket.
that means there would have been others in your boat.
No, I was the only one who missed all my connecting flights. No, Ruler. That would have been lovely if I was really normal.
You would have been on the news.
And so, but as this guy's yelling at me, he's gone, don't you realize that when connecting flights are booked, if you change one, it cancels the other? And I'm like, how would I know that?
You're the traveller. Like,
I don't fly all the time. Anyway, it was hilarious. But he stayed with me and he had his boss come up to him, this gorgeous guy at American Airlines. And his boss said, you've got to move on. We've got an airline full. You cannot stay with one passenger for this long.
well,
and
sorry, mate, but I need to get home and my
Exactly.
luggage is somewhere else. Oh,
But this
gee.
guy, Rolla, he didn't leave me. He stayed with me until I bought another flight, which, by the way, in the meantime, I said to the travel agent, you need to cover the cost of this flight because this is not my error. They sent me an email saying, yes, we're going to cover the cost. Got my ticket and 60 hours later, I got home.
Now, we get...
Yeah.
Now, in the past, we've heard that Trump has made it a little bit more difficult to go to America with visas, everything else. And it's all for good reason. So that's fine. It is, he's running the country. He can do it his way and good on him.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you couldn't even leave the country.
No, I couldn't leave. And you know what? The whole getting there, the going through customs, all of that side of it was a breeze. It was trying to get out of it that was the problem. So,
Oh, gosh. Are you going to write a letter to Trump, to the administration, and say, hey, guys, I just want to let you know I did the right things as an Australian.
I'll tell you,
But this is what happened.
do you know what? That's so true. And can I say that hat off to this guy that stayed with me for an hour and a half, this grown woman bawling her eyes out. But I can't remember his name because he had quite a long, complicated name. And I was so frazzled, Ruler, that I can't even remember what it is to send him a thank you and to show, and if I had to tell Trump, that you've got some really good humans that are working for your airline. So, keep up the good work.
Oh, you're amazing. I really wanted to share this story. Alex says, what a drama, the days of our lives, all right.
Yes.
Oh, I love it. And you know what the beautiful thing is? You've said it with such positivity. You're still smiling. You're still happy. That's who you are. And that's why you are a very well sought after keynote speaker, because of the positivity that you find even in situations like that. Yes, you cried. It's emotions. You're a human being. Anyone in your boat would have done that. I would have cried. I would have been bawling because it would have been that shock.
Yeah.
What's going on? You've lost control of everything. You're in another country. What is going on? So it makes a lot of sense. And it's good that you cried. At least, you're not keeping all that stress bottled inside you. Did you talk about it in the plane when you were flying back with the the stewards on board?
I didn't, but when I was on the flight from New York to Miami, and we realized now because we've been diverted that I was going to miss my flight, I was right at the back of the plane, and all these people around me are like, oh my God, because I'm then trying to call them while I'm in the air, trying to call to book a new flight. And all these people are like, oh my God, we're so sorry. We're so sorry. But here's the thing, Ruler, while I'm worried about just missing all my flights, another guy comes up and says to me, well, actually, I'm the best man at my best mate's wedding. I'm doing the wedding speech, and I'm now not going to be there to do it. So I'm feeling all sad and sorry for me, thinking, oh, at least I did make the speech at my best friend's wedding.
Mrs. Kalambaras is saying, was he a Papadopoulos? Long name. Next time travel to Greece, no problem there. Absolutely. You're so right, Mary. There'll be no problem. They'll see this woman. They'll go, don't cry, darling. Yeah, get on board. You don't even need a bloody ticket.
Absolutely. And I wish I did know his name, but it was his first name, and it was something like that. Actually, do you know what I'm going to do, Ruler? I'm going to go to the Greek islands, just so that I can relive this and get used to the pronunciation of longer names.
Do that.
Cool.
Yep.
Thank you for the permission.
And until you get to the Greek islands, every Tuesday, 7:30 p.m., you can play my show in the background. It's all upbeat music. We'll just keep you warm until you get to the Greek islands. Kim, thank you so, so much for joining us live. It was a pleasure having you. So everyone can follow Kim. It's Kim for those that are not on the social platforms and listening on 98.7. Payne, Payne. So Kim Payne on LinkedIn, Facebook. She's everywhere.
Thank you, Ruler. What a delight. And I am going to embrace the Greek.
Mrs. Kalambara says, I'm there next week.
Awesome.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.
And that was the wonderful Kim Payne.